Sweet, guys. Awesome, ladies. Wow, this is so exciting, guys. So first things first, are we on? Can you hear me okay? And can you see me okay? Are we ready to roll? This is all good to go. Then we're gonna dive in. So we have people joining from Holland, Minnesota, Ohio, Belgium, Sydney, Melbourne. Sweet. I'm excited, guys. It's my first live stream from Australia. And I'm excited because normally I just give live streams from Bali and these countries where the Wi-Fi is like super sketchy. So I'm excited to actually be in a place where we can hopefully keep on, hearing and seeing each other. Stockholm, sweet, tuning in from all over the world. So those of you who are dropping in now, ladies, keep on letting me know in the chat where in the world you are tuning in from. Beautiful. More women dropping in by the second. Slovenia, awesome. Okay, lovelies. So let's take a moment with this as women are popping in from all over the world to tune into the connection with each other. So with your eyes either closed or open, whatever helps you to tune in the most, take a moment and visualize these women from all over the world like little points of light spread out around the planet. So little stars, little light beings all around the globe. I'm seeing this as like a grid work or a network of lights all around the planet. So that we really welcome each other into this women's circle. Because truthfully, even though we are in different countries spread out all around the world, we are really connected deeply. So tuning into that connection with the women all around the world. Zina is in Guatemala. That's so exciting. So ladies, where are you tuning in from? Those of you who are coming in now. Beautiful. And let's drop in a little bit deeper. So wherever you are, if you are sitting or laying down or standing up, whatever position your body is in, make sure that you are comfortable, that your spine is nice and long, that your shoulders are open and relaxed. And if you are sitting, then come into some kind of a side stretch. So this is something that I do both first thing when I wake up in the morning, as well as just any time during the day when I feel a little bit low on energy. It's like a really quick opening experience that you can do for your body. So whether you're laying down or sitting or standing up, then you can find your version of this. So if you're sitting, then you can simply follow along more or less what I do. So placing your right hand next to you on wherever you're sitting, if you are able to do that, otherwise just rest it down. And then with an in-breath, stretch your left arm up towards the sky, stretching up, 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 really lengthening the left side of your body, lengthening. And then with the next breath out, leaning over to the right. So lengthening all the way through from that left hip to the left fingertips, lengthening out, breathing into the left side of your lung. Expanding. This really helps to open the energy meridians in the body, the energy pathways in the body. Great. One more breath, lengthen even a little bit more. And sink a bit deeper down. And then breathing in, pressing into that hand, stretching all the way up to center again. And lowering that arm down, and then let's do the other side. First, actually, let's take a moment to just check in the difference between the sides. So again, if you're standing up, you can find your own version of the side stretch. If you're laying down, you can do that too. And then let's do the other side. So placing your left hand next to you, stretching your right arm all the way up towards the sky. And then leaning over to the left. So lengthening with every breath in and sinking a bit deeper with every breath out. Actively breathing into the right side of your lungs, lengthening with every breath in and deepening a bit more with every breath out. Okay, one more deep breath here, lengthen. And sink a bit deeper with the out breath. Next breath in, pressing into that hand and stretching your fingertips up towards the sky. And then lower that arm gracefully with the out breath. Rolling your shoulders just once to open the chest. And then take a moment to close your eyes. Allowing a deep breath into your heart. Expanding into the heart center. Relaxing, softening with the out breath. Then breathing into your belly. And allowing that to soften with the out breath. And then breathing all the way down into your pelvic floor and into your yoni. And then placing your hands on your body somewhere. It can be one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Or both hands on your womb space, or anywhere else that you feel like it helps you to really anchor in and to soften and to ground. And with this, allowing a few deep breaths into your body. Breathing into your woman's body, breathing into the soft animal of your being. And tuning into how she's doing right now. How are you feeling right now? If you like, you can even ask yourself, hey sweetheart, how are you feeling right now? And see what arises. It might be words, it might be sensations. And if you notice any parts of your body that feel a bit contracted or a bit tense, then sending your breath into that space. And then having a few breaths where you allow your body to undulate together with the breath. So breathing in and rocking your body a little bit forwards, expanding the heart and the belly. And breathing out and curving your back, sinking a bit deeper into yourself. Inhaling, rocking forwards, exhaling, rocking back. It's a feeling of waving or undulating through your body. Great. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, or even breathing in and out through an open mouth. Beautiful. So connected breathing like a wave, and allowing this breath to soften you a bit further. Beautiful. And then take a deep breath into your heart, drawing the breath, engaging the pelvic floor up into your heart center, holding the breath in the heart for a moment, and then breathing out and rotating your body as you allow your breath to flow down. Let's do that again. So deep breath into your heart, Drawing the breath up into your heart, expanding the heart as you hold your breath for a moment. And then breathing out and spiraling. Right. So we're doing the suck and the stir. So one more time, breathing into your heart. Holding the breath in the heart center. And breathing out, rotating. And let's do that one more time, all the way up into your third eye and into your crown this time. So breathing in. Holding the breath in the pineal gland, in the brain, in the crown. And then breathing out and spiraling down. And then let's have one deep breath in where you stretch your arms up towards the sky. And breathing out, and just slowly, slowly, as you continue breathing, brushing down your body. So brushing down your face, brushing down your throat, brushing down your heart, your breasts, down your belly. And you can also touch yourself in the neck, give yourself a little neck massage. Pulling your hair. If you're one of those cool women who have shaved heads, then you can find a way to massage your head. Pulling your hair, tapping across your forehead, across your cheeks. And brushing down your arms, flicking your fingers, shaking your fingers. And then last thing, tracing down the midline, so brushing down your third eye, your nose, your lips, your throat, your heart, your belly. And coming to rest with your hands somewhere on your body. So let's have a couple of shares. How was that for you? How are you feeling right now in this moment? And you can share in the chat, or if you even want to come on and share on video how you're feeling in this moment, then you can raise your hand by clicking on, it should say either room or attendees, and you can basically raise your hand and ask to come on as a speaker. And then we might even have a couple of shares from one of you. And for all of you, please share in the chat how you are feeling in this moment and how that was for you. So this is a very simple practice that you can do to reiterate what we just did. Very simple side stretching, coming back to center. You could also do forward bend, back bend into this. But side stretching, coming back into center, breathing into your heart, your belly, your pussy, into your whole body, tuning into how you're feeling in this moment. And then allowing some deeper waves of breath through your body. And then breathing that up into the heart, holding that, and then breathing out as you spiral a few times. You can also do it into your third eye, into your crown, or anywhere else in your body that you feel like. Okay, so Leona says, loving this, feeling so much more alive because of the pulse breath, the exercise. Beautiful. Beautiful. I don't know how you pronounce your name, girl, but Mirtha or something like that. Nice, making time for myself. Leona says, feeling way more tuned into my bliss. Thank you. Beautiful. All right, so welcome to today's live stream. Yoni love and intimate health for women and luxurious feminine wisdom. So I'm going to be blasting through a whole lot today. So everything that I share about, we could probably literally have like an entire webinar training about each part. You know, we could go into diet, we could go into intimate things regarding, you know, tampons and ear cups. We could go into pleasure tools. We could go into the wisdom of Kudushka. We could go into Yoni yoga. We could go into breast massage. But all of these things are things that I'm going to be touching on today. And it will be like a crash course, you could say. And I will also be sending you the notes from this. So I have created a PDF where everything is written down, where any titles, any tools, any tips, any links that I mention are in there. So for this webinar training, if you are the kind of person who really learns a lot by taking notes, then you can of course take notes. Or if that feels like a distraction, then you can simply be fully present, and I'll send you the webinar notes afterwards, and you can go in and look deeper in there. So Julia says, I'm very appreciative of your seminars because it occupies a unique niche. I'm an investor and very interested in your company. Wow, that's the first time I heard that. Interesting. Maybe we can talk later. Interesting. And Maria says, I'm feeling more connected in my body and more air and openness in my body. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. So really sweet to hear. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is to go through some basic do's and don'ts for a happy and healthy Yoni. And I'm also going to be bringing on a friend of mine, Yoni, who is also on this call right now, to add in a few things. Because this is really some basic foundations about how to ensure that your inner environment is balanced in terms of pH and health in different ways. So I'm just going to look at my notes here. So first of all, I want to talk about hormonal balance. So hormonal balance is huge, like it's fucking massive for us women. For men, it does come into play a little bit because, you know, hormones is really something that affects our well-being, whether we are men or women, but especially for women, both in terms of our sanity and our emotional health, as well as for our pussy health. Hormonal balance is huge. So first thing I want to say is to do a plastic detox. So plastic contains toxins and toxic estrogens. So when you drink from plastic bottles all the time, especially plastic that has been in the sun, if you have plastic that is in the sun, the plastic, or in heat or in extreme cold, so also if you keep your plastic bottles in the freezer, in the fridge, or in your car, say, where it gets really hot, or just in the sun, say you're on the beach one day and you have a 2-liter plastic bottle with you because you want to stay hydrated when you're on the beach, that is going to leak like insane amounts of toxins into your water. Do not drink that shit. So get a glass bottle or a metal bottle. So even the BPA-free plastic has been shown to actually contain quite a lot of toxins. I used to say go BPA-free, but actually, no, go glass or go metal. Plastic is a huge thing. Second thing, in terms of our hormones, soya products contains huge amounts of hormones as well. Soy can actually lead to infertility as well as increased risk for breast cancer. So if you're trying to conceive and have babies, go off soy. And just in general, you know, tofu and soy is just like messing up our hormonal system. Tempeh seems to be a little bit different. For me, it doesn't really resonate, but it seems like tempeh and fermented soy is better than the rest. And also, actually, whiskey contains estrogens in a not so nice way, which is why guys who drink a lot of whiskey, they can get kind of man boobs, which is ironic because whiskey is one of those like super manly drinks, but actually it gives you breasts. So I would say stay away from that. And you can do more research about which foods affect hormonal imbalance. Secondly, sugar. Sugar, really, white sugar, processed sugar, refined stuff, also gluten. I'm going to go into gluten a bit more in a moment, but let's just stay with sugar. Sugar wreaks havoc on your hormonal system. It tires out your adrenal glands and your kidneys, and it just messes up your body's ability to keep a hormonal balance. And gluten is another big thing that just creates all sorts of weird kind of symptoms like leaky gut syndrome and just a generally really not so happy environment inside. And any kind of processed food, any kind of food that creates inflammation in the body is something that is really going to throw off your inner balance. And what recent scientific studies have shown is that our hormonal production actually begins in the belly to a very large extent. So something around something close to 70 to 80% of our serotonin is produced in the gut, in our belly. So serotonin is one of those hormones that makes us feel really, really happy and content. So if you look at antidepressants, they all work with your serotonin levels and also dopamine, but serotonin, almost all of it is produced in the belly. And if we have inflammation in the body, which comes from eating an acidic diet and an inflammatory diet, like sugar, gluten, dairy, processed foods, then that creates inflammation inside our belly, and that actually makes our hormones take us into a state of depression. So if you are on antidepressants, you want to try to experiment with, not experiment, but for the rest of your life, eat an alkalizing diet, and that will allow a natural state of inner antidepressants to be formed inside your body and inside your brain chemistry. And I'm going to go into some more antidepressant tactics as well when we're going to go into some more of the intimate practices, because there's more than just your diet that affects your hormones. But that is one thing that is huge. So if you feel depressed on a daily basis and you don't know why, very, very likely there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with your brain or with your mind. It's just that your body is in a state of inflammation, which makes you feel as though you are depressed. And this is fucking massive, like it's huge, and not many people know about this. So with this, I also want to check in with my dear friend Leonie Gabriella, if she wants to come on. Let me just check if she's here. Let's see. So I want to just invite my beautiful, hold on, let's see here. Invite my beautiful friend Leonie and see if she can come on. Sometimes these technical things work, sometimes not. But Leonie is a girl who has specialized a lot in holistic nutrition for women, in hormonal balance. And I want to just see if, Leonie, if you want to add anything in terms of diet and balance. Yes, there she is. Sweet. So girl, I want to hand it over to you for a moment and see if there's anything that I didn't cover in terms of hormonal balance or anything else that you feel moved to share.
Awesome. Cool. Hey girl, so lovely to share here. It's so lovely to share with you, Rania. So I love what you share about food, and I think it's so important, right? When we talk directly about our pussy should be a place of pleasure. Like that's like the epitome of what our pussy is for, really, for pleasure. And it's so connected to our entire body, and our entire body is made for pleasure. So what I really believe is that that's what you should also be looking for in your food. So if you're making a choice of something, like questioning yourself, is that going to support my body, and really creating the perfect situation to fully enjoy life and to fully give life, because our vagina is a space that also gives life. You want to ask yourself, which foods will give me life? So which foods will I truly enjoy eating, not just in like the snacking kind of way, oh, like this is such a buzz, I really enjoy that. That's beautiful if you do that every now and then, but generally I'd really recommend that we take that pleasure and that life that we want to experience in our body, in our breasts, and in our pussy, and we look for that in foods. So one of the foods that I really love and I recommend you eat as much of as you like is fruits. And another question that you can ask yourself with that, because fruits are tasty, right? They're super juicy and they're so, we love them. So a question you can ask yourself is, these foods, the way they smell, is that how I want my pussy to smell? So before you're about to bite into something, you can wonder, is that how I want my pussy to taste? So you can literally, I mean, walk into McDonald's. That's not the kind of smell you want to have. So very directly, my partner told me, and I've been with my partner now for 2.5 years, and I've been eating a mostly raw, mostly fruity lifestyle for over 5 years now, and he tells me that my pussy tastes like mango. And I've tasted it. I don't taste the mango directly, but I do taste a very, very sweet taste. So I feel like that's a pretty good rule to go by. Whenever you're about to eat something, ask yourself, would I like my pussy to taste like this? That I really love. So then generally, I just wanted to touch upon something else that you shared, Ronja, which was eating a diet that's alkaline. That's just so incredibly important. And because I have worked with clients who did have issues with yeast in their vagina, and really it's just a symptom of something that's not working within your body. So a very quick fix for that is to eat a lot of greens, and you can do that in your smoothies. You can use them in the morning or for lunch or at night, whenever you want them. So great pussy food, amazing juicy fruits, high quality organic greens. That's what I would highly recommend you eat. And you will notice when you start eating more cleanly, you will have a pretty quick feedback of what the food does to your body. So for instance, some of the foods that Ronja mentioned, like tofu, whenever I eat tofu, immediately, I'm not sure if it's the next day, it may take a few days, and it depends on the amount I would eat. If I eat tofu, which is not very often, I immediately notice there's kind of a funny substance that comes out of my vagina. So yeah, you will start to notice. So yes, would I like my pussy to taste like this? That's the question you want to be going for. And a little trick, I'm not sure if Ronja already shared this about the cucumber. I'm just checking in if you already shared. Okay, so foods, if you put it in through your mouth, that's great. And then it's going to go through your body, through your cells, nurture you.
Okay, it looks like Leonie was thrown out, so I'm just going to take over from where she was. First of all, Leonie, if you're still out there, thank you so much. I love that you're sharing this. And I want to also, before continuing with the cucumber, I want to touch upon this. Because ladies, if your pussy smells like fish, something is off. Like, every woman is unique. And I have been giving Yoni healing sessions for the last 6 years. I've felt and seen and smelt a lot. Every woman has a unique flavor, which is really beautiful. But if your vagina smells really fishy, that is a signal that your pH balance is off. And I have also noticed that if I eat like onion or garlic, then that really affects the way I smell. And in general, I pretty much eat fruit and vegetables. Like, that's mostly what I eat. So mostly a vegan, very fruitarian-based diet. And my yoni smells really good and really sweet, and I've had the feedback from guys as well. They're like, wow, you smell amazing. And so that's of course like a beautiful confidence booster, whether you are having multiple lovers or a steady partner, or even just intimacy with yourself. It's like taking care of that balance. So the cucumber is a really beautiful way to cleanse your yoni. So this is one of those tips that they forgot to teach us in school, because this is a really, really easy one to do. Cucumber is balancing, it is cleansing, it is really purifying. And the way you use the cucumber is that you peel an organic cucumber. Really important that it's organic. You peel the cucumber. You can warm it up by putting it into some warm water for just a minute, so that it's nice and warm when you insert it, and then you want to slide it inside. So of course you can adjust the size of it if you need to, if you want to peel off more. But basically you insert it and you rotate and slide it a little bit in and out, and you can also just leave it there for a few minutes. So if this sounds weird, then I can tell you that it's not as weird as sticking plastic up your pussy, which, by the way, when we're talking about plastic, using vibrators and toys made of plastic, not good for your vagina. So cucumber is something that is really cleansing for your yoni. So basically sliding a cucumber inside and allowing that to draw out any impurities. Cucumber will also extract, if you have any residue from products, from like toxic lubrication or even oil, that's going to draw that out and purify. So adding cucumber into both your diet as well as your cleansing routine is a really, really beautiful way to cleanse your yoni. Another way to cleanse your yoni is by the use of something called the Secret Series. And this is going to be in your webinar notes, so you don't need to remember it, but it's called the Secret Series. And as far as I know, Adina Rivers of My Tiny Secrets is the main proponent of the Secret Series. I've had mine for a couple of years now, and I absolutely love it. I actually barely even use it anymore because my yoni is so balanced now. I don't really need it, but the Secret Series is made from, I believe it's kaolin clay and different herbs, and it's basically a stick that is about this big, about this thick. And I don't have mine right now. It's back home in Bali, and I'm in Australia right now. But it's something that you want to wet for just about a few seconds, to just wet it, and then you insert it for maximum 90 seconds. Like, do not go over this because it's quite intense. And then you take it out, and then the next day your pussy will exfoliate. So there will be like a white substance that literally comes out, and you can even help with your fingers, like scoop it out, wash it out over the next 1 to 2 days. And what happens is that your yoni is exfoliated and is like silky soft, even more than before. So the Secret Series also balances your pH. It makes your pussy really soft and silky, sweet smelling, tighter. It's just a general really awesome thing to have in your stash of different tools. So I will put the link for this. I'm not affiliated with them in any kind of way. I just love the Secret Series. And I'll put a couple of links to both the international site where you can buy it, as well as the European one. I think there's a UK one. So I'll put that into the PDF with the notes that I'll send to you. The next thing I want to mention, so this is, we're already touching into these like secret goddess tools a little bit, but I want to mention a couple of more things on the hormonal side. So first of all, birth control is a huge one. And yes, I know you might not want to have accidental babies and have to go through an abortion if you're not ready for children at this moment, but there are different ways to have contraception that doesn't mess up your hormonal system. So any kind of like hormonal implant, whether it's inside your arm or inside like a spiral or anything hormonal, or the pill, is going to mess up your hormonal system. And this can create issues with libido, with lust, with passion, with skin, with the pH inside your yoni, and also just like mood swings like crazy. So I see that Leonie is coming on again, so I'm just going to continue with this a little bit more, and then we'll see if there's anything more that you wanted to add. So birth control is a huge one. And so alternatives to birth control, first of all, there is the copper spiral, which is better on the hormonal side. But I have found from giving sessions to women a lot, Yoni release sessions, which is something I'm going to touch upon later as well, if that is something that you're not familiar with. Even a copper spiral, I find, can create a lot of tension inside your yoni. So that is actually not something that I would recommend. Now, there are different ways to use contraception in a way that doesn't actually mess up your hormonal balance. And so one thing is to simply know your cycle. And again, this is something that I'm like, almost hesitant to mention, because it would require, like, it would actually deserve a whole webinar on its own, which I might do at some point. But basically knowing your cycle, because the ovulation window is actually only a few hours. It's usually just like 1 day or 1/2 a day when the ovulation is actually happening. But then sperm can live inside your vaginal canal for several days. So you do want to have like an extra buffer window. But basically after your ovulation, when the ovulation has happened, leading up to your period and also during your period, then it is pretty dang safe to have sex. And again, I don't want to be liable for anything like this in terms of babies being created by mistake. So do your own research. Do your own research in this. But there's a way to know your cycle. You can look into this. And I will put in a few links into the PDF where you can look into this more. So this is just like a little hint. If you want to look into this more. Honey is a spermicide as well that you can use. There's something called a honey cup, I believe, that is being used very, very successfully. Honey is a very, very strong sperm killer. Papaya seeds is another thing that acts as a contraceptive. So you want to have like a spoonful of papaya seeds every single day, and that is a very, very strong contraceptive, as well as clearing out any parasites, or not any, but most of the parasites that might be living in your system. So papaya seeds is a different thing. Now, this is also a little bit of a sticky subject, because this is like, you really need to know what you're doing in this, but tantric lovemaking and ejaculation retention is another one that you can use very successfully. So this simply means that if you are with a guy who is able to hold his seed and not ejaculate, or at least choose when to ejaculate, then that can be the only contraceptive that you need. This is what I use with my partner, with my partners, is basically ejaculation retention and conducting the energy. And now someone will be like, well, what about the pre-cum? What about the pre-cum? What if the guy leaks? Then what? And so the answer to this, and I have checked this with numerous specialists and doctors, and the answer is unanimous, that pre-cum does not contain any sperm unless the guy has ejaculated the same day and he hasn't cleared the pipes, like he hasn't peed in between. Because if he has come earlier the same day or the day before and he hasn't peed in between, it's good to like have a couple of pees to really make sure that the urethra is clear. Then there can actually be some residual sperm inside the urethra. So where both the pee and the sperm goes out for the man, there can be some sperm still hanging around there if he hasn't cleared the pipes in between. And then the pre-cum that leaks from the tip of the penis can actually contain sperm. But if your man hasn't come for a couple of days or a week or a month or even longer, there is no sperm in the pre-cum. So again, if you want to learn more about this, I suggest you look into it and do your own research. But this is a kind of contraceptive that has been used for thousands of years, especially in more highly evolved cultures that know more about tantric and Taoist techniques. So Leonie, I want to check if there's anything else that you wanted to add that I didn't cover in terms of the cucumber. So basically, I described the whole cucumber process, if you were thrown out and you didn't see that, and also anything on the level of contraception that you want to share.
Can you hear me? Yes, I think you can. So there was just something that I wanted to add to the contraception part and how damaging it can be for your body. Because I actually had the IUD that you talked about, the little copper spiral that they put in your womb. And I thought that's just a great solution for me to not get pregnant. And I know a lot of women do that. And I also know a lot of women who are into natural health still do that because they feel like it's the best option for them. It's the least amount of hormones. I had it for 2 years. And then my womb literally started pushing it out of my body. And it continued doing that for 5 years after I removed it. Every month, my body would get such heavy cramps. It was as if I was giving birth, and it still felt, although it had already been removed at the time, that this substance needed to be removed from my body. And it was so painful that I would literally lay on the floor cramping. So it just really goes to show how damaging these tools are for our body, because we see them as useful, but really it's very serious for your beautiful pussy. So just wanted to add that. What I would make is on acidic foods, because we said like don't eat acidic foods. What are acidic foods? If you were to leave out a couple of foods from your diet, I would say number one would be animal flesh, and because it has also a lot of hormones for your body. Number two would be eggs. And I'm saying this because I know a lot of women who are really into health and conscious living believe that it's still good to eat eggs because they're vegetarian and you need your protein, right? And eggs would be good protein. So the eggs are actually, yes, they have protein, but they also have very intense protein that's kind of hard to digest for us. And also it's a hormone bomb. And when you think about it, an egg comes from a chicken's pussy. Right? Makes sense. And it came from her womb. And in her womb, she was preparing this little egg to turn into this chicken. So it's full of hormones, and that has such a big impact on your hormonal system. So all women that I work with that have hormonal imbalances, the first thing I ask them to stop is animal flesh as well as eggs, which in a way are also animal flesh. It has a very big influence. So those are two I wanted to point out. And number three, also for a lot of healthy, conscious vegetarian girls, I know I used to do that as well. I was consuming a lot of milk products. So in the form of really healthy goat's cheese, right? It's supposed to be really good for you. But for me, it did not make me feel good. And what milk products literally do, even though they are goat's cheese or whatever, they also create an acidic situation in your body. So it's one of the direct influencers of, for instance, fungi in your pussy that can build up there. So those are three foods that if you are still eating them, I would recommend you try out letting them out of your diet and slowly move towards the food that you would like your pussy to taste like. So I would recommend mango and cherries, and bananas are also very tasty. Now, don't put a banana in your pussy, even for play, unless you want to do some crazy play. I wouldn't recommend that. It's not the same thing as a cucumber. So you don't have to put all the good food in your pussy directly, just eat them. That would be my tip. So I think that's all I wanted to share for now. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, please tell me chocolate is okay is the message I'm getting. Well, I mean, what's okay, right? Okay all depends on what you compare it to. If you're going to be, and it also depends on what kind of chocolate you're eating. Now, personally, I'm pretty extreme because I really love feeling good in my body, and for me that means I eat a raw vegan diet, and I'm pretty extreme. I eat mostly fruits, and I love that, and for me it really has a big influence. If you love chocolate, I think you should eat it. Personally, I would really recommend you find the healthiest chocolate that you can. So, at least please don't eat the regular store-bought chocolate, because it has refined sugar most of the time. And if it's not refined, it's also kind of refined because the fiber has been taken out of it. Even if it's agave syrup, it's kind of concentrated. And then it has a lot of fat. And in cheaper chocolate, that would be just cheap plant fat or butter. So I would definitely not recommend eating that. If you want to eat chocolate, I would recommend you have, there's a great recipe actually. You take dates, and you can either blend it with avocado, or I just personally, I like to just take dates and use cacao powder or carrot powder. It's similar to cacao, it just doesn't have like the caffeine, and I'm a bit sensitive, so I prefer that. So carrot or cacao with dates and water, and you blend that until it's like a really nice chocolatey sauce. And then I chop some fruit, because I like my pussy to taste like fruit, and I pour over the chocolate sauce. So I love that, Suzanne. I don't know if that's an idea for you. And now that I see your question, I just want to check in if anybody else had a specific question about food that you want to ask me, so then I can answer that for you. And what I do think is really important is, no matter what you're going to be eating, please do it from a space of joy and pleasure. So if you're going to go onto a healthier diet and you're going to get really controlling about it, and like just this like intense energy, like this energy of restriction, and please don't do that, because firstly, you're not going to actually do it. It's not fun. And it sucks, because that energy, like that resistance, that frustration is really not good for your body. So it's like, better eat a little bit unhealthy food sometimes, but try to really stay in connection with yourself. I mean, obviously the holy grail would be to eat right and to feel right about what you're eating, but do it from a relaxed space. So when I say that I'm kind of eating an extreme diet, I don't feel like I am. But I do it from a space of pleasure and enjoyment and love for myself and trust. And I mean, it makes me feel so good. It's so amazing. Like, it's just, and it's so tasty. Like yesterday, as a gift I bought for myself, because I'm not in the tropics. I know Ronja is, but I'm not right now. I bought two I call them flying mangoes. They were flown in by airplanes, so they're tree ripened. And oh my gosh, they're just so tasty. They smell so juicy, they look so juicy, and they make me feel so good. So for me, it's just like this pure pleasure, a pure following my desire of going for what I want. And I know from experience, if I push towards what I don't want, I only want that more, firstly, and I feel super frustrated. So if you're going to go into eating healthier, do it from a space of joy and going for what you love rather than resisting something else. I think that's also really connects to what Ronja teaches, because pleasure is just super duper 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 important. Now, I wouldn't recommend you go eat a burger at McDonald's. And like, no matter how much you enjoy that, like that is going to have an influence on how it digests. It will still have a physical impact. So yeah, thought I'd share that. Susanna says, I love fruits and greens too, but gotta have that little bit of dark chocolate. Well, I understand. It's tasty. Nice.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Yoni. Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes, and I eat chocolate pretty much every day, so I would definitely recommend that as well. But yes, definitely go for the raw, sugar-free, vegan chocolate. And also chocolate, I find it's really beautiful to eat it slowly, because there's a difference between like munching a whole bar really quickly and kind of stuffing it down, and just like taking a piece, smelling it, feeling it, allowing it to melt slowly on your tongue and taking it in. Because as Leonie says, it's really about doing it from a space of pleasure. Because you can be all kind of like guilty about it and like eating chocolate really fast and stuffing it down, and that's going to create a certain experience and a certain hormonal response in your body. Or you can enjoy it slowly and allow it to be a permission slip for pleasure. And pleasure is one of those things that just acts as a natural antidepressant. It just floods our body with feel-good hormones, and it creates such a beautiful inner environment. Beautiful. Okay, so thank you so much, Leonie. I'm going to return you. Can I do this? Oh, I'm not sure. I can eject you, Leonie, but you might be ejected from the whole thing. So maybe you can just bring yourself back. Let's see. And then I'm going to move on. Thank you, love. Beautiful. Thank you so much. So yes, because it's not only about what you eat, but how you eat it. And pleasure is something that increases and boosts your metabolism. It creates a beautiful hormonal balance inside your body, and so much more goodness. So a couple of more things to avoid in terms of yoni health is tampons and pads if they're not organic. Because cotton is like the most pesticized thing that grows in the world, pretty much. I'm pretty sure it's like either #1 in terms of pesticides, or it's like close to the top, like it's mega toxic. So if you're doing Tampax or like any of these commercial brands of tampons, you are literally like putting a toxin factory up your vagina. Not good. So with that, either use organic tampons, organic pads, and yes, they're more expensive, but it's fucking worth it. Like, this is, your body. It can literally create cervical cancer and all sorts of imbalances. It's not going to be the biggest expense in your life. It's worth paying a bit more to actually have that core center space of your body be clean and toxin free. So either use organic tampons and pads, or even better, use a cup. And I'm like, oh, mine is in the bathroom. I don't actually have it right here with me right now, so I can show you. But there are different moon cups and Eve cups and Diva cups that you can use. And again, I'll put the link into those in the notes so you can check them out. I personally use the Eve cup because I have found that to be the softest and most comfortable one. That is really, really great. And now for me, I have really tight yoni, like my muscles are really, really good, but somehow, sometimes the positioning of the cup doesn't quite work, and some blood leaks on the side. And so what do you do with that? Because I know a lot of women have this experience. Some women somehow just manage to put in the cup in such a way that nothing leaks, but a lot of women have problem with some leakage sometimes. And so what I have found to be really good with that is something called Thinx period panties. Again, this will be in your notes. So thanks with an X, THINX. Period panties is basically underwear that absorb blood and keeps you clean and dry. And they come in hip huggers and cheeky and thongs and different colors. They're really sexy with nice lace. And this is a way to just stay really dry and leak proof. So that's another one of those things that these women who created the Things company are just amazing and I love them. So that's another thing that you can use in addition to a cup. And now, last thing I want to mention about that, about stuff that affects your hormonal balance and toxins, is cigarettes, smoking. Smoking really affects your yoni health, and actually studies have shown that smoking actually makes your vagina dry up and shrivel up. It decreases the blood flow to your yoni, so it makes it more kind of like insensitive and dry and brittle, and it also makes you less naturally lubricated. So if you are smoking, then again, I'm not going to go into this too much because that would take up the whole webinar, but really look into ways of releasing those cigarettes, tuning into what is the desire, what is the need that you're filling up with the smoking, and see if you can receive that, whether it's calm, peace, deep breathing, connection, comfort, if you can find that in other ways, because smoking is so bad for your pussy. Okay, let me just check my notes, see if there's anything else that I want to mention on this. Okay, perfect. So basically eat well, drink lots of purified water, stay away from birth control, plastic, sugar, dairy, gluten, eggs, and meat. Don't smoke, switch to organic tampons and pads, or better yet, use a cup. And cleanse with the cucumber and the secret series. And also, and now this is, I understand we've just been saying like don't eat dairy, but actually one really quick way to balance the pH inside your yoni is to put in some natural organic yogurt. So if you have problems with yeast infections or that your yoni is itching, then actually for a couple of days putting in organic, natural, not the strawberry sugary kind, but natural organic yogurt can actually balance the pH in your yoni. So that is something that I have used several times. Like I've never actually had like a full-blown yeast infection, but a few times I've felt a little bit itchy. And so the long-term solution for this is diet and self-love and health. But short term, if your pussy is itching, then rather than going to the pharmacy and getting their toxic chemical creams, to using natural yogurt is a really great way to go. And my experience is that using that for a couple of days just balances it out every single time. And then in addition to that, diet and lifestyle is really, really great for that. Okay, sweet. So let me see. Okay, so Wanda is asking about blood sugar and fruits, and Leonie is answering that. So basically, you want to go either, like in terms of diet, I find that you want to go either for like the slow carb or low carb diet, where you eat a lot of like nice plant-based fats, nuts, avocados, in combination with greens, so like a kind of slow diet, and then your body is in a certain metabolic state of ketosis, more or less, where you are burning more fat and protein for your energy. Or you want to go into the more fruitarian way, where you eat a lot of high liquid foods, a lot of fruits, but very little oil. Because it's the sugar and the fat in combination that creates more of the candida and that kind of stuff. Again, I'm not going to go into this more. Let me just mention it like that. That is what I have found really works. I eat a ton of fruit and very little oil content, and that is just what my body resonates with the most. And I used to be more on the other way, where I just ate like a lot of fat and protein, and that felt kind of good, but actually this works better for me. So again, everybody's different. Trust your intuition and your guidance in this, and do more research. Beautiful, exactly. Either go fat or go fruit, don't combine. So different bodies will need different things, depends on your constitution, your body type, your blood type. So if you want more consultation in this, you can reach out to either me or Leonie or somebody else that you know who knows more about this, for more personal guidance. And you can also find a lot of information about this online if you want to look into these kinds of diets. Okay, I want to move into the pleasure tools because this is where it gets really fun and really juicy. So the first pleasure tool that I want to mention is the Yoni eggs. So a lot of you ladies who are into tantric and Taoist practices know about Yoni eggs already. And the most commonly used Yoni egg is the jade. And now there are some things that are really, really, really important to mention when it comes to Yoni eggs. And when I first started my Yoni egg journey some years ago, I didn't know about this. And I wish that somebody would have told me, because there's a lot that you want to know about the eggs to make sure that you really have the best possible experience. First of all, jade eggs. So jade is a stone that is very, very cleansing for your vagina. It is super healing to have inside. Now, jade is really expensive. And most of the jade that is sold, if you're getting it from different countries all around the world, most of the jade that is sold is actually fake jade that has even been shown to contain arsenic. Not good. The only reliable source of jade is the Nefertiti jade from Canada. Now, if you have found some other that is definitely reliable, feel free to reach out to me and let me know, because then I can share it with my women. But as far as I have come to know through my research and through speaking with my friend Leila Martin, who is the founder of Jade Pleasure, and other women who are experts in the field of jade egg, is that the Nefertiti jade from Canada is the only one that is actually authentic jade. And I would recommend pretty much only using jade as opposed to all of the different crystals, because jade is that one that is really solid, like it doesn't crack, and so it stays really clean. Whereas, for example, rose quartz, now if you have a completely new rose quartz egg and it's really, really high quality, it can be worth using, especially if you boil it and cleanse it really well. Again, you can look into this more, how to clean your eggs. You want to boil them regularly. You can even cleanse them in the moonlight. There are different ways with tea tree soap, tea tree oil soap, that you can cleanse your eggs. But basically, a new, really intact rose quartz egg can be nice to use. Rose quartz creates a really beautiful balance inside your body. It's very loving. But if you have ever dropped your rose quartz egg, which can happen so much. By the way, ladies, if you don't know about what Yoni eggs are, they're like small eggs that you use to put inside your vagina. And you can use them for different practices and different exercises. In the Sensual Yoni Academy, I teach how to use these. There are specific practices you can do where you thread a string through the egg and you put it inside, and then you can do different kinds of practices, resistance training, rotating your hips in different ways to exercise different parts of your vagina, different parts of your vaginal muscles. You can learn to move the egg up and down. You can also wear these eggs inside during the day. Now, if you start out, you want to just limit it to like maximum 10-15 minutes up to an hour in the beginning, because you want to make sure that your muscles have sufficient time to relax. Combine it with a lot of relaxation, deep breathing, yoni massage, and self-massage, self-pleasuring. But eventually you'll be able to wear this in for hours and even a full day. I often wear my Yoni eggs when I go dancing. I go to ecstatic dance a lot, and I love to have an egg inside because it's like the secret inner power source that I experience. So especially when your muscles get stronger and more supple, then you can wear them for longer. If you have given birth, or you just generally haven't exercised and you want to do a lot of practices with the Yoni eggs consciously, not just wear it inside like an accessory, but actually doing practices. And again, inside my Sensual Yoni Academy, I guide this, and there are also numerous other jade egg and Yoni egg courses that you can do and check out. And there's even some free videos on YouTube you can check out. But basically, you want to make sure that you do conscious practices with these. And then once your muscles become stronger, then you can wear this inside for the full day. I'm going to mention in just a moment what this specific egg is, because this is the best one that I have ever found. But first of all, to go back to the rose quartz, when you wear the egg inside, a lot of women, like I think almost every single woman who uses the Yoni egg, has experienced that you wear it inside, you forget about it, you go to the toilet, it falls into the toilet, or even maybe like it drops out and falls on the floor, especially if you don't wear underwear, which is another thing. Wear organic underwear as much as you can, and make sure that your underwear is washed in organic detergent and not the chemical kind. Because that's another thing that affects your intimate health a lot. But basically, for whatever reason, say your egg falls out, rose quartz cracks so easily. My rose quartz egg has fallen on the floor for different reasons numerous times, and it has like literally like micro cracks all around it. And that is where a lot of bacteria can really get in and get stuck, and it is not good. Like, do not keep on using that egg. So that's why jade is like pretty much the only one that is recommended in general for these practices. I also have amethyst, I have black obsidian, I have different ones, and I might use them sometimes just very, very briefly because it's fun. But in general, the high quality jade from Canada is the only way to go. Except for this little guy, this little girl that I'm holding in my hand right now. And so I've been using the jade for about 5 years. And this one I've been using for about 5 weeks. But this is like one egg that I am so excited about. It's so exciting. It's like taking the Yoni egg experience to the next level. This is a pretty new invention. This is literally like a Tesla quantum field 0-point energy device that is based in tachyon technology, tachyon energy. So tachyon, let me just put that into the chat. Tachyon energy. Here we go. Tachyon energy is an amazing technology which, if it was let out, could basically create provide free energy for the entire planet. The creator of this was actually, how can I say this? Like, he was followed and almost killed numerous times because the powers that want to keep us hooked into the grid of oil and oil companies and these kind of things, they recognized that he was creating something that could actually create and provide free, sustainable energy for the entire planet. They were trying to have him basically removed, and so he had to promise. He went public and he shared that he promises to only use the tachyon energy for healing, and if he would be assassinated, if he would be killed, then he had set up a system so that this technology would instantly be known in 30-40 countries, and so that if they killed him to try to keep this information under covers, then the opposite effect would be reached. And if they left him alone, then he promised to only use this for healing. And then they basically left him alone. So this is how powerful this one is. So this is a tachyonized Yoni egg that is made from fused quartz, which means that if you drop it, it doesn't break. So it's pretty much unbreakable. So it doesn't have any cracks anywhere. So it's very pure, it's very pristine. And this egg has been inside a tachyon chamber for a couple of weeks to get permanently charged with tachyon energy. And tachyon energy is the easiest way to describe it. It's like pure prana, it's like pure life force. It's essentially a form of life energy that is vibrating and moving faster than light. So it's a 0-point quantum field of continuous, pristine, pure life energy. And what this does is that it pulls tachyon energy from the universe and from the quantum field through it, and out through the thicker end of the tachyon egg, there is tachyon energy continuously streaming. So when you wear this one inside, you want to make sure that the thicker end of the egg is pointing up towards your cervix. So when I wear this one inside, I feel literally like a continuous stream of light through my body, a continuous stream of very subtle and very, very powerful energy. And for the first time, I'm using an egg that doesn't actually require any cleansing in terms of, like with different crystals, you need to put them out into the moonlight, you need to cleanse them under the full moon or under the new moon, or you need to put them inside a stream of like a flowing river or something like that. This one is self-cleansing energetically. Again, this might sound like super new agey woo stuff. If you're sensitive to crystals and crystal energy, then you feel that most crystals and stones need energetic cleansing. This one does not. I remove it every day and rinse it, and sometimes I pour boiling water over it for just a minute to just make sure that there's no residual vaginal juice inside the hole here, which is where you can pull the string through. But other than that, apart from when I have my period, when I'm on my moon time, I wear this one pretty much every single day. And I've had it for about a month now. So again, apart from when I have my period. And it's amazing. And this also really balances the hormonal system. Tachyon energy has been used for pendants, for pyramids, for fabrics, for wraps, in different ways to heal pretty much any imbalance in the body. So it's not just a pleasure tool that you can use as a general regular yoni egg, but you can also put it on different parts of your body. So the other day I was experiencing some tension in my neck on the right side, and during the night I just put the egg here with the thicker end towards the muscle that was hurting, and in the morning when I woke up, the pain was completely gone. So you can use this for healing different parts of your body. Sometimes I use it as a meditation with my third eye, and I can feel the light streaming into my third eye and activating my pineal gland. There are so many different ways that you can use this. And the Yoni egg is one of many, many, many tachyon products that you can buy. And so I want to see, hold on, let me see if I can actually bring up the, okay, there we go. Okay, just 1 second, use code. Okay, beautiful. So let me know if you can see this. I'm just pulling up a link where you should be able to see this. And if not, then I'll just pop the link in the chat as well. This is the link, and I would say, like, don't go there right now because I want to keep on sharing about this, but you can just save that link for later. So on this website, you'll find a number of different tools, and I actually only have the egg. I want to place an order very soon because there's like a lot of different things that they have there on the website. This is like a super, super, super cool one. And the creator of this is this quantum scientist in collaboration with Ma Prem Sarita, who's one of like the tantric grandmothers in the world. I just was in a workshop with her a few weeks ago in Bali, and she was sharing about the tachyon products, which is where I got this one, and I'm super excited, but I want to get the rest of them as soon as I can and place an order, because you'll find there that when you go to these tools, you'll find that there's like G-spot ones, there are pleasure ones, there are even root chakra stimulators, in other words, like anal plugs and anal balls. There's something called ultraspheres, which is something that men can use, which are 2 tiny balls that create a torus field of tachyon energy in the entire body. There's also tachyonized coconut oil, which I have only tried once. My friend Shashi Suluna, who is a tantra teacher, she had some tachyonized coconut oil with her once when we were hanging out. And I just put a little bit of that coconut oil on my nipples and on my clitoris, and it was like a beautiful, very subtle, very powerful vibration that felt like kind of cool and warm and swirling at the same time. You can use the tachyonized coconut oil on your face, on your yoni, on your breasts. So there's just so much with tachyon energy. So I am going to upgrade all of my pleasure tools to these tachyonized ones, because they're literally like, it's not even like, I'm not even kidding. It's like next level quantum energy, 0 point field healing devices. And before, it's because these tachyon energy has been around since the 90s. Very few people know about it, but before they were only used for pendants that you could wear, for EMF protection devices. So what these do as well is that they protect you from any electromagnetic radiation, from Wi-Fi, from phones, from computers. So if you are sensitive to Wi-Fi energy and electromagnetic field radiation, then any of the tachyonized products are going to protect you from that. And so when you wear a tachyonized Yoni egg inside, you literally wear a EMF, electromagnetic field protection device inside your pussy continuously. So that's another thing that the jade and the other ones don't actually do. So that is one thing that is like, tell all your girlfriends, if you have women who are into the Yoni egg and the jade egg practices, then send them the link to this store where they can get these tachyon energy products. And now what is, oh, Julia says, interesting, for according to Einstein's theory of relativity, objects moving faster than light can be used to communicate back in time. Well, that's cool. So I don't know exactly how that works, but basically, you can check this out. Like after the webinar, you can go to this link that I put up, and I think you should be able to view this button that I very fancily created as well. And use the code. So they gave me a code that I can share with my women. Use the code LOVEYOGA for 10% extra discount on everything. Now, I haven't actually tried this code myself because I haven't placed my next order yet. But so if there's any issue, then let me know, and I'll make sure that you get 10% extra discount. But as far as I know, that code Love Yoga is like a secret code that you can use, and then you get 10% extra discount on everything. So get the Yoni eggs, get the pleasure ones, get the ultra spheres, and get tachyonized. I also really want to try, I want to get the coconut oil as well. One other really cool thing about the tachyonized Yoni eggs is that when you wear these tachyon eggs inside during the day, and then you either keep it in for lovemaking, which you could do, especially if your man is not that well equipped, if he's a bit smaller, then actually having an egg inside can be an enhancer. So you can experiment with that depending on how deep you are and how big he is. But otherwise, taking the egg out just before you make love, your man is literally going to slide into a tachyon field. Now, I've spoken with a few different guys who have made love to women who have worn tachyon eggs inside, and they say it's like next level exquisite. So that is another really cool thing, which I actually haven't tried yet. But I might report to you what that is like when I do try it. But he comes into a tachyon field. And there also you can find on this website, if you go to the masculine tab, you can find the tools for men. And men can actually use these ultraspheres, which are these tiny balls that they can put inside their anus. And if they wear those when you make love, then his lingam, his penis, his cock literally gets tachyonized. So you are then penetrated by tachyon energy as well. So again, you can play with this. You can either just get one thing, or you can like get the full range and play with everything if you want to have a super next level quantum energy experience with your self-pleasuring. And I would love to also just hear your reports, because again, I've been using the jade products and the jade eggs for years, this only for a bit more than a month, and it's already like the best thing I've ever tried. I'm super excited to try the other pleasure tools ASAP, and I would be super curious as well to hear about your experiences in this. So the link should be showing up for you guys there, and use the code LOVEYOGA. Again, you can open this as in a new tab next to the webinar, and you can go there after this webinar, because now we are going to continue. Also want to check if there are any questions about these tachyon products that you want to ask, which I may or may not be able to answer because it's still pretty new for me, but it's like next level stuff. And on the website, you can find some more videos and information about this. But yes, the tachyon Yoni eggs are the next level experiences when it comes to pleasure tools and pleasure wands and Yoni egg experiences. I think that's most of what I want to share about this. I probably could go into an entire webinar only about the tachyon eggs and the tachyon wands, which is something that I will definitely do later when I have done even more experimentation with these and when I have more of the tools to show you. But the G-spot wand is something that you can use both for G-spot orgasm, for squirting, for Amrita orgasm, as well as for healing any tension inside the G-spot. So there's so much you can play with this. So Suzanne says it allegedly strengthens the energetic field, which is directly linked to the physical body. It then activates and intensifies the structure of the cells, reminding them of their perfect order. Exactly, that's what the tachyon energy does. It literally communicates with your cells moment by moment and tells your cells to go into the perfect order and into their original blueprint of sacred geometry and of perfection. So if you have cancer cells in the body, or if you have any cells are not functioning properly, the tachyon energy and the tachyon information that is encoded in this will tell your body to regenerate and go into perfect health. So disclaimer, I'm not making any statements that are guaranteed, but I know people who have healed cervical cancer and other cancer forms with the tachyon eggs. So this is something that I would highly recommend that you get. And again, tell all your women, especially women who are into Tantra and into any of the jade egg practices, to look into the tachyon products and get the tachyon eggs and the tachyon wands. And again, use the code LOVEYOGA for an extra discount. And in any case, the link should be there, and I will send this to you afterwards as well. So yes, it strengthens the energetic field. And I have noticed as well, since I started using the tachyon egg, is that I feel like my field is even more luminous, even more intact, and even more radiant. That's another aspect that is just so, so beautiful. Okay, beautiful. So let me see what the next thing that I want to go into is. So another, what I forgot to mention in terms of the toxic stuff. So just to reiterate a little bit about the toxins, condoms is another big one. So we already talked about plastic and how plastic leaks toxins into your water and into your food. If you use plastic tools when you're cooking, then switch into wood instead. Is that condoms, latex condoms, is another thing that creates a lot of imbalance and even cancer inside your cervix and inside your vagina. So almost all people on the planet are allergic to latex. So again, if you want to find out more about alternative forms of contraception, if you missed the beginning of this webinar, then check the replay later on and make sure that you look into alternative methods of contraception. Now, if you still want to use condoms, then also look into vegan latex-free condoms. Again, you can Google this, and I'll also put in some links for this in the PDF that I'll send you afterwards. But yeah, do not use latex ever again, because rubbing that into your most sacred, intimate part is bad for your internal health. So that's just a very important addition that I want to add in to this about the toxins. Okay, beautiful. So moving into some more beautiful treats for your pussy. So the tachyon eggs and the tachyon pleasure wands, I would say, is the number one. Another really nice thing you can do is to give yourself a pussy steam or a yoni steam. So a yoni steam is very simply that you fill a bowl or a pot of boiled water so that the water is really hot and really steamy. And you can even put some tea or herbs in this. So whatever whatever herbs resonate for you. You can use mint, you can use lemon balm, you can use different kind of flowers. You can also put in essential oils. So my favorite kind of essential oils are the Young Living essential oils. They're, to me, the highest quality. I know a lot of people also like doTERRA. I'm not really into that. It doesn't really do it for me, but either Young Living or doTERRA oil should be really, really nice. You can put that into the water. This one is amazing. It has like flowers and ylang ylang and lots of good stuff. So you can put that into the water. And then you want to wrap a sarong around so that the steam really stays inside. And then basically squat above this. So finding a way that you can squat, or you can have it in front of you and sit on the edge of a chair and then have the sarong. So this creates like a yoni steam bath. So steaming your yoni is a really, really beautiful gift to yourself. And that is also beautiful preparation for any kind of self-pleasuring experience that you want to have, because the more warmth and steam you bring in there, the more you will be naturally open and sensitive and receptive for any kind of touch. Increases the blood flow, and it just feels like a super luxurious, like self-love home spa experience that you can give to yourself. So a yoni steam is one thing that you can give to yourself. Now, the next thing, of course, is self-pleasuring. Again, if you get the takunized coconut oil, then you can use that for self-pleasuring on your breasts, on your yoni, on your belly. But any kind of organic coconut oil, almond oil, yoba oil is going to be beautiful for self-pleasuring. Anything that contains rose. I have this rose oil that I really, really love that has organic almond oil, apricot oil, jasmine infusion, and rose infusion, which is absolutely exquisite. It smells so good. So to do, like, say if you want to have like a nice treat for yourself, you could have a bath, you could have a yoni steam, you could eat some nice dark raw chocolate, and then put this oil on your body and just caress and touch. If you have the takunized pleasure wands, you can use them. So just this very luxurious experience for yourself, compared to using plastic tools that vibrate a lot. This is going to be a so much deeper, richer, and more nourishing and more loving experience. So let me see if there's any other extra treat for your puss that I wanted to bring in. Oh yes, essential oil compress is another thing that you can use. So for this, you want to just soak a soft cloth or a towel, like a small towel, in water, like warm water, with some coconut oil and with some essential oils, and then you just put this on top of your vagina. And this is also a very, very beautiful treat and balancing, self-loving act for yourself. And last thing is sunshine. So if you are in a space where you can be naked in the sun, then it's such an amazing feeling to lay in the sun. Again, if you get burnt easily, you might not want to do this when the sun is the strongest or for very long. But if you have the chance to be naked outside and you can lay with your legs open towards the sun, and this you can, of course, combine with a beautiful self-massage experience, jade egg practice, or takunized yoni egg practice, or pleasure wand experience. The sunlight, the sunshine is so beautiful. And it also feels like this. My friend Shashi, she was posting on Facebook yesterday exactly about this, about laying in the sun naked. It literally feels like being penetrated by this eternally shining Shiva presence energy, the sun. And it's just a beautiful experience to be naked in nature in general. So I live in Bali in the jungle, and I have a very private space. I am naked in the sunshine every single day. Like my morning meditation, I'm sitting naked in front of the sunrise and the jungle and the river and the waterfall, and I'm allowing this morning light to flood my body. And I often have self-pleasuring ritual, and I touch myself and I touch my yoni and allow the sunlight to enter my being. It's an absolutely beautiful experience. And all of these things together help us women to come into so much more beauty and pleasure and energy. And so I mentioned the pleasure wands and the crystal wands. So again, there are different materials that you can use. There are rose quartz wands, there are different crystal wands. I used to use this kind of G-spot one, but this one is made of plastic, so I'm actually going to be stop using this one. Is allegedly non-toxic plastic, but still it feels more resonant to use the G-spot Delight and the Pleasure ones from the Tachionized Crystal Fused Quartz products. But if you are using any kind of plastic vibrators, stop doing that. Again, you do not want to have electrical vibrating plastic crap up your pussy. So I know through Sex and the City and all of this, like it's been a lot of women's liberation and using dildos and vibrators and all of these, but these are actually quite detrimental, like really detrimental to your pleasure and to your health for different reasons. One of them is the plastic. Secondly, the electromagnetic field and the batteries, not very good for your yoni. And thirdly, desensitization. So another aspect of this is desensitization. And desensitization basically means that the more stimulation you use, the more stimulation you need. And this goes for men and women. So men who have been masturbating a lot and very often watching porn, so they disassociate from the physical experience. And this goes for women as well. If you watch porn, you have the image of the porn, which is a sexual act that you're not actually physically engaged in yourself. So it's a disconnection going into the mind and then going into very harsh stimulation. So men who have done a lot of like friction-based masturbation, they are almost always very desensitized. And I'm not going to go into this now, but there are ways that men can resensitize. Now for women, which is relevant for us ladies here, when you use a vibrator, especially like the clit vibrator and those things that vibrate really, really strongly inside, what happens is that your clit and your pussy literally get desensitized. And you can try this for yourself. So for example, like say you take your left wrist, and then when your right hand, you begin to rub up and down. And you rub with quite a lot of friction. You can do it slowly or fast, but rubbing up and down is like pushing in and rubbing. Now what's going to happen within a few minutes is that your sensory receptors in the skin are going to feel like they're receiving sensory overload, and your sensory receptors are going to begin to pull back into your body away from the sensation. It's like too much stimulation, so your body responds to this by pulling back, retracting the sensory receptors inside the body. And so even after a few minutes of doing this, you're going to start noticing that the area of skin here is going to become desensitized and even go a little bit numb. Now, the same thing happens for guys with a lot of friction masturbation as well as for women. If you are constantly rubbing your clit and using strong vibrations on your clitoris will literally become desensitized. And same thing inside your vagina, if you use very, very hard stimulation, whether it's like really hard and fast friction sex, or you're using dildos and vibrators, that's going to desensitize your yoni. So the way out of this is to begin to have sex that is, more connected, more slow. There's even a practice of plugging in, which is when you're with a partner and you plug in and you don't even move, but you just lay together, plugged in, and you just feel the subtle energy vibration between you two. And if this is new for you, you might not feel much, but the more you do this, the more you'll be able to feel that subtle energy vibration between the lingam and the yoni, between the cock and the pussy. The magnetism of plugging in our genitals together is immense and intense. And after practicing with this for a long time, I literally started experiencing intense full body cervical orgasms without even moving, just from the vibration that is happening in between us. And that is what is possible for every single woman. And if you're numb and tense and painful inside, then I'll mention in a little moment about how to release that as well. But for now, just resensitizing by having sex that is slower, more connected, more in tune is one aspect. It doesn't mean that you can never have like really banging, thrusting, pounding sex. I love that as well. And the more open you are, the more you'll be able to enjoy that kind of like more rough sex as well. But in general, expanding your range of sexual exploration to also include the slower, more connected, softer lovemaking is going to be super healthy for your yoni. And now the second part of this is the vibration and how you touch yourself inside. So we've been rubbing our wrist and feeling how that creates more numbness. Now, instead, now bring your wrist up again and begin to just very, very lightly caress, very, very lightly caress your skin with light, light fingertips, with light touch. Now you can do this for a long time and it's not going to desensitize you. In fact, the longer you do this, the more your sensory receptors will come out to meet the stimulation, the sensation, and you will actually experience more and more and more sensitivity over time. So this goes for your entire body. The more you practice with this kind of like more subtle touch, the more your body will awaken. It's like your whole body becomes one big clitoris that is open and receptive for stimulation and sensation. So that is just one aspect to be really aware of. And if you feel like you need to rub and stimulate a lot to change trace for an orgasm, then really check in, what is your deeper longing here? Very often it's not necessarily an orgasm per se, but it's a feeling of being connected, of feeling life energy moving through your body. So the egg practices, the tachyon eggs, the wands, the breathing, yoni yoga, all of this will help to open up your sensitivity so that you can feel much, much more. And then you will actually have less stimulation, but more sensation. So I think that's, again, enough to be said about this right now. So again, this is something that I could go into so much more, but that is basically it about vibrators and self-pleasuring and sensitivity. So I have touched a little bit on yoni release and yoni massage. So if you want to know more about yoni massage, then you can check out my free 9-part video training series called The 9 Secrets to Amazing Sex and Unlimited Orgasmic Potential. So again, I'll just one sec, let me just pop the link in there. And again, this will be in your notes afterwards. I think if you have been following me for a while, then you probably know this already, but that's a free video training series that I have. And part 7 is about yoni release. So if you want to know more, then just check out part 7 of that 9 Secrets series. And if you can't see the link, then go to 9secrets.roniasebastian.com and I'll put this into the notes as well. So you can just check that out, not now, but check it out later. But very briefly, yoni release is a way to release tension from inside your vagina. So this is something that you can do on yourself to a certain extent. The yoni egg practices also help to release a lot of tension from the inside. But the most effective way to really go into this experience, if you want to have a full, deep healing, the armoring experience, is to have this done by somebody else. So this means you can either do it with your partner or you can go to a professional practitioner. Now, there are men and women all over the world who give yoni release sessions, and there are some that I could recommend that I will also put into the notes, their names and how to find them. But there are some people who are giving these yoni sessions as well that are actually not that great. Like there's been a lot of people uncovered in the last few years who are actually giving sessions to women, especially, well, only actually men who are giving sessions to women, and they are not in integrity at all. So if you can receive a yoni healing session from a woman, then I would recommend that. Or if you can't, then check in with your references, and if you can find a male yoni healer that actually is in really high integrity and who is doing really, really pure work. The benefit of having this given by a woman is that there's none of this, shady wanting to take kind of energy that can sometimes happen when a male practitioner is giving this. Again, there are some guys who do great work. But in general, for women, it's really this beautiful healing sisterhood space. If you happen to be anywhere in the world where I am, then you can come for a yoni release session with me. But I'm traveling so much, it's not that likely that you will find me. Then I'll put in some links to other women who are giving sessions all around the world, which I would deeply recommend. I have some sisters in different countries who are doing really amazing work with the yoni release session. So in short, it's an internal massage that helps to release tension from inside your vagina. So any parts inside that are feeling numb or tense or painful, can be released through this very, very slow, deep, and conscious touch, where you basically apply pressure to any part inside that feel numb or painful or closed down. And then that tension, both the physical tension, the energetic tension, as well as the emotional tension that might be stored there, can begin to release. So this often comes with intense emotional release, especially if you've either experienced rape or incest, or you just had a lot of sex that did not feel good for you. Very often feelings of sadness, of anger, of fear can come up. And so that's why it's so important to be with somebody that you deeply trust, who can hold a space for this. The first time I experienced the Yoni release session was actually with my boyfriend back in 2008. We were making love, and at some point he hit my cervix and it really hurt. And I was like, oh, that really hurts. And he asked if I wanted him to pull out and pull away. And my response, through some intuitive guidance, I was just like, no, just stay there and we'll just see what happens. And so he just stayed inside me. And this is something you can do with a partner as well. He just stayed with his lingam inside me, and he kept on pushing into my cervix. And I just breathed through this, and I could feel that emotions as well as physical tensions began to release. And he stayed there for just actually a few minutes, I think, which might be the max that the guy can stay still and stay hard. You know, you can move a little bit just to keep the erection going, but then keep on pushing in. So you can use fingers, or you can use lingam for this. You can use a penis for this. Pushing into there, the tension began to release, and I experienced that then we could keep on going and there was no pain there anymore. So that's how I discovered this. And then I started studying Yoni massage and Yoni release and learned a lot more about it. And I've been giving sessions to women like this, worked with hundreds of women who have been through sexual abuse. And it's magical. It's remarkable to see just everything that happens with this. So that's what I want to mention about the Yoni release in this. And the benefits of Yoni release is that when your G-spot is de-armored and relaxed, and you can experience G-spot orgasm as well as squirting. My experience is that pretty much every single woman is able to ejaculate from the G-spot. So that is something that comes as one of the possible benefits of Yoni release. Cervical orgasms is another one. So most women experience tension around the cervix, meaning that when your partner penetrates you really deeply, comes in really deeply, then it hurts, it feels painful, and it feels like you want to pull away. And when the cervix is open and relaxed, and when you have deeper, especially like rhythmically thrusting, rhythmical, ongoing, pounding sex, it can actually send you into full body, deep cervical orgasm that shoot through your whole body, shoot through your brain, and just open everything, which is a very beautiful and very deep experience of surrendering and opening. So I can see some women, I just want to mention, I can see some women popping in, going out. Some more women are still coming on and some are leaving. We're coming up to, you know, an hour, more than an hour and a half now. And there's just a couple of more things that I want to cover, and then we open up for questions. But if at any point you need to leave, feel free to do so, come back later. And you can always watch the replay, and you will have the possibility there to also just watch whatever bits you missed in this, and I'll give you specific instructions for how to do that as well. But for those of you who are still here live, I can still see quite a lot of women who are on with us live. You'll have the opportunity in a moment to come on and ask any questions that you have. So there are a couple of more things that I want to cover in this. Just a sip of tea. I have some white tea with rose, which is like one of my favorite teas. If you have the possibility to get the Numi tea, N-U-M-I, Numi tea, white tea with rose, then it's like super beautiful, very feminine, very luxurious experience in that tea. So we've been talking about yonis. I briefly want to go into do's and don'ts for happy, healthy, and orgasmic breasts, because that's another thing that really connects into our yoni health and really affects our hormonal balance as well as how much we can open. And if you want to go deeper into this, then you can check out part 3 of the 9 Secrets series. which is about activating the feminine plus pole, because in our body we have this experience of our chakra system is set up in such a way that we are active and receptive in every other center. So in our first chakra, in our root center, we are receptive. In our lower belly, in our sacral center, we are more active. Solar plexus receptive, heart active, throat receptive, third eye active, and crown is where we unite. So the men have the opposite configuration. And so this simply means that we have like plus and minus poles magnetically inside our bodies that together with the male body connect in the opposite corresponding way. So our heart center and our breast is the main plus pole, which means that when you stimulate your breasts, for example, through breathing, meditation, or primarily through breast massage, then you activate the female plus pole, and this creates a hormonal balance inside your body that activates sexual energy, that creates a lot of oxytocin, which is a hormone and a neurotransmitter that is the precursor for pretty much every other female sexual hormone. And so the easiest way and the most beautiful way to activate this inside your body is breast massage. And those of you ladies, I know a lot of sensual yoginis are on this call as well. Those of you ladies who are in the Sensual Yogini Academy, then you know the breast massage from month 1. And for any of you women who are not in there yet, then in month 1 of the Sensual Yogini Academy, you find different guided Taoist sensual breast massage practices, which are breast massage practices that help to activate these feel-good hormones. It also makes your breasts firmer and bigger and more just like radiating and alive and orgasmic. And so there are different versions, different like longer practices and shorter practices you can do, which are just like miracle workers for activating your internal happiness hormones and activating the orgasmicness of your breasts. So I'm not going to go into that more. You can check that out. Let me actually bring up a link, because if you go to, let me just see here. If you go to sensualyogini.com/yes, then you'll see a link there, or like if you scroll down, where you can get the first month for free. And the first month contains the Taoist sensual breast massage. It contains the Yoni yoga, which is a way to learn how to activate and isolate your intimate muscles. So you learn to play with your intimate muscles in a really cool way. You also learn to create the inner ripple effect inside your vagina, which is a way of using your inner muscles in this kind of way, where you ripple both from the opening up towards the cervix as well as the other way around. And when you use this in a ripple effect in lovemaking, then your partner is going to experience so much more pleasure. Like my partners in this, when I have used the inner ripple effect in sex, they're like, oh my God, where did you learn that? I've never felt anything like it. So together with the tachyon field and the inner ripple effect, it's like the best lovemaking experience. So in month 1 of the Sensual Yogini Academy, you can find the Yoni yoga, the inner ripple effect, the Taoist sensual breast massage. There's also an inner alchemy core channel meditation where you learn to breathe with the earth and with the sky, which is a way to really plug yourself into a universal source of life energy. So if you feel that you feel a bit tired during the day and you rely on sugar and coffee, then the inner alchemy core channel meditation is a really, really beautiful one to tap into. And there's also a liquid love womb and heart breath meditation, which is a beautiful way to tap into a very deep space of nourishment, of self-love, and of healing. So if you go to sensualyogini.com/yes, then you'll see that you can get the first month for free. Or if you feel like you want to dive in deeper, because in later months we also have orgasmic chakra breathwork, energy breath orgasm, more advanced sexual vitality qigong practices, other kind of meditations, limitless meditation. Let's see what else. Just really beautiful and high level practices for women. There's also the Yoni egg practices in there. Then hopefully you can see this that I just loaded now. Otherwise, go to sensualyogini.com/yes, and there you can also find that there's also a yearly option. So when you pay upfront for 1 year at once, and you get 3 months for free. So that's if you feel like you want to go deeper into the practices, then that is the best option. And for both of these, there is, I believe, a 60-day money back guarantee. So you can try it out. And if you don't like it, then we will very, very happily refund you, because these are practices that are so, so beautiful for women to do. So the Yoni yoga, the breast massage are ways to balance your hormonal system, to open up for deeper orgasms, create more pleasure for yourself, for your lover, and so much more goodness. It also prevents breast cancer. The breast massage also prevents breast cancer, with the added chi stimulation, deeper breath and oxygenization of your body. So that's what I wanted to mention about breast massage. Secondly, with the breasts, if you are still wearing a bra, now a lot of women have been ditching their bras in the last couple of years, which I'm really, 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 really happy about. But if you are wearing a bra, as soon as you can, stop using it, or use it as little as you possibly can. So you can do more research around this, but studies have shown that women who wear a bra like all day, every day, their risk of breast cancer is like astronomically higher than for women who do not wear a bra. And women who wear a bra around the clock, like day and night, which I have no idea why you would ever wear a bra at night, but women who wear a bra like 24/7, their risk of breast cancer is fucking insane. Whereas women who do not wear a bra and do a lot of these pleasure practices and breast massage virtually never get breast cancer. So ditching your bra is a great, great cancer prevention technique and act of love towards yourself that you can do. Wearing a bra also pulls down your shoulders. You can get a lot of back pain from wearing a bra. And also the wiring inside the bra, if you use a metal bra, then that literally acts as an antenna for electromagnetic radiation. And so it's like you're walking around with this attractor for bad, harmful energies into your breasts. And now if you're wearing the tachionized Yoni egg, you are going to be naturally protected from the electromagnetic field, but still, it's just good to go without that wiring. So if you can find a sports bra or something soft that gives a little bit of support, but it's without the metal, then that is a great thing to switch into. And there's some really beautiful lacy, like not lazy, but laced, sexy ones, organic ones that you can get as well. And bra that is really tight underneath here also blocks your lymphatic system, which is also going to lead to all sorts of imbalances in your body, buildup of toxins, eventually maybe even cancer. So there are so many different reasons for ditching your bra. And the last one is perkiness or sagginess. So they have done studies with women, with thousands of women over the course of a 15-year period, where they checked women who were wearing a bra versus women who were not wearing a bra versus women who used to wear a bra and then stopped, and see what happened to the firmness of their breasts. And so what this study showed is that women who stopped wearing a bra, year by year after they stopped wearing a bra, they saw a yearly rise in nipple height, meaning that the breasts literally became firmer and firmer and firmer as they aged. Interesting, huh? Because we think that aging means going saggy, and both in terms of our breasts and in terms of our yoni, aging does not have to mean going saggy at all. And if you have pain in your breast when you don't wear a bra, maybe if you're running downstairs and your breasts are bouncing, or you're dancing, or you're shaking, or you're doing something like this, and it feels painful, then that is a sign that your breast tissue has basically, how can I say this, become like deactivated. Because nature is not stupid. Like nature did not set it up in such a way that human women have to wear a bra. Our bodies are made to take care of themselves. Our breasts are meant to hold themselves up. And yes, this includes you, even if you have really big boobs. So whether your breasts are small or big, nature intended for your breasts to literally hold themselves up. But what happens is that when we, from the age of 13, 14, even earlier, begin to wear a bra, is that the muscle tissue inside the breasts, they never need to work. And so the muscle tissue inside your breasts literally withers and dies. You can imagine this. If you never ever use the muscles in your arms, they would, what's this word, detrify, something like that? Like the muscle tissue would literally die. And this is what happens inside the breast. If you wear a bra all the time, the muscles don't have any job to do, and the tissue doesn't have any job to do. So it literally begins to wither and die. And then what happens is, if you don't wear a bra, is that it's painful because this muscle tissue isn't supporting you anymore. And so what happens for almost everyone, if you experience pain, is that you stop wearing a bra, and it takes about 2-3 weeks for the pain to go away. But when you stop wearing a bra, your muscle tissue will begin to activate and wake up and become alive again, and then it won't hurt. I remember when I stopped wearing a bra, which is about 3-4 years ago, for the first few weeks, I felt quite a lot of pain in my breasts. And I do a lot of shaking practice, which you will know from the Sensual Yoni Academy or from any of my workshops as well. And I had to like hold my breasts as I was shaking because it hurt so much, especially on my period. But then the pain after a few weeks went away, and now I never experience pain in my breasts. And I've spoken with so many women with this as well. Yoni says, love that aging does not have to mean saggy breasts or pussy. Exactly. We can literally grow younger, especially with the tachyon energy. Like Sarita, who is the main proponent in the world of the tachyonized products, she is in her 60s now, and like her skin is so smooth. She's super healthy. She's like really young and vital. And so she, of course, promotes all of the Taoist practices, the Qigong, the tachyon products, the tachyon eggs, the pleasure wands, the breathing, and also not wearing a bra. So that is another reason. You will literally notice your breasts become firmer when you stop wearing a bra. So stop wearing a bra, tell all your friends, go through the first few weeks of it feeling a bit more painful. If you need to use something, then use a very soft and relatively loose sports bra. And especially if you have really big breasts, then you'll notice that they firm up a lot. And if you combine this with breast massage, then your breasts will get firmer a lot faster as well. And in month 1 of the Sensual Yoni Academy, I teach a specific breast massage technique that really, really helps to firm up your breasts. So if you are young or old and you feel like your breasts are a bit saggy, then stop using a bra and begin with a breast massage, and you'll notice a massive, massive difference. Lastly, about the breasts, stop using toxic deodorant. Very simply, if your deodorant contains EDTA, or aluminium chlorohydrate, I think it's called, that is like cancer factory. So if you every day for years and years and years put on toxic deodorant right next to your lymph nodes and right next to your breasts, that is a massive, massive cancer risk thing. Like, it's, you're literally giving yourself breast cancer if you're doing this. So you can use coconut oil, you can use baking soda, a combination of that with essential oils. The one that I use is like a salt crystal. These come in many different forms. This is basically, it actually says that it contains ammonium alum, which is not to be confused with aluminium, because this is natural mineral salt. So this one is free from aluminium, zirconium, free from aluminium chlorohydrate. It's unscented, it's just very natural. And what this does is that you put it under water, so you get it a little bit wet, and then you just rub it under your armpit. And what this does is that it creates an environment where the bacteria that causes the odor cannot live. So it doesn't stop you from sweating, which is a natural thing. Your body should be sweating, so don't try to stop the sweating. But it basically prevents the odor. So when you use this, you're going to be smelling really fresh. And if it doesn't work for you, then you want to look into cleaning up your diet. Because if you eat a lot of shit, your sweat is going to smell horrible. So clean diet together with a natural deodorant is the best way to go. Susan adds as well that normal deodorants with aluminium can really damage your thyroid. Exactly, and your thyroid gland is a massive player in terms of your hormonal balance. So ditch your bra and your toxic deodorants and tampons and shit, and go natural, go organic, and go clean and non-toxic. So Myrte, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name in the right way, I'm sorry. Myrte says, it makes me sad that there are so many things in this world which are so easy to get on the market but aren't healthy for you, like plastic vibrators, hormonal birth control, and I want to add to that also condoms. Why is this also normal and we don't know these things? Well, basically, we live in a pretty fucked up world. What can I say? It's like the whole system in the world, whether it's the news or the economy or the pharmaceuticals or all the crap that's in the supermarkets, is built in such a way that we stay in fear, we stay suppressed, and we stay addicted, so that we keep on buying their crap. So So same thing with all the MSG and the sugars and everything and the food, all the flavor enhancers. It is literally designed not to keep us healthy, but to keep us addicted. Same thing with cigarettes, same thing with birth control. Like all of these things are designed to keep us away from the connection with our body, with our wisdom, with our health. And so, yeah, it's kind of sad. The good news is, though, is that we can get educated and we can tell our friends about this. So again, like after this webinar, share this with every woman you know. You could share them verbally, or if you want them to get a deep, deep download, because again, this is like we're covering a shit ton in this webinar. We're covering a lot. And again, if you have missed any parts of this, the beginning or the end or whatever, then go back and watch the whole thing, because this is like, we're coming up now to 2 hours, but that's going to be like 2 hours to change your life. It's going to be worth it. Every single thing I've shared in this webinar is so vital. I used to be like in suicidal depression for so many years, and I thought there was something wrong with me. But a part of it is, you know, waking up to awareness, waking up to a deeper sense of love, but also in terms of hormonal balance, because it's fucking huge. So when we are eating clean, when we're eating organic, when our gut flora is intact, when our body is healthy, when we do breast massage, yoni yoga, breathing, self-pleasuring, touch, tachyon energy, yoni egg practices, all of this, like we just feel good. You know, it's beautiful to be in a woman's body. We're blessed. We're so blessed to have these pleasure bodies. You know, a woman's body has 2/3 more sensory receptors than a man's body. Like that's huge. Imagine being a guy and then suddenly you get 2/3 more sensory receptors. You're going to start experiencing life in a really massively different way. But as women, we have learned to desensitize. We're literally like, we have this pleasure, miraculous grid work of just beauty, and we are not tapping into it. And so giving this to yourself, as well as sharing it with the women that you meet, feel free to share the link to the replay of this webinar with everyone. And hold on, let me just check, because I think that I actually think, hold on, I think that this is set up so that, okay, the replay, I'm going to send the replay out to everyone later. Yeah, so share the replay with all the women that you know. So, so Zena asked if you're willing to add some more, knowledge or links in the PDF about what we can do to release my yoni, our yoni ourselves, I would be really thankful. Experiencing uncomfortable feeling while lovemaking lately. Yeah. So I would say that for that, self-pleasuring, yoni egg practices, and the tachyonized pleasure ones, all of that is going to open up so much. That is what you can do for yourself. So self-massage, yoni massage, deep breathing, self-love, generally de-stressing and taking more time for yourself. As well as these actually help to release tension, like without you even having to do anything. These tachyon eggs are literally releasing tension, whether it's neck pain or yoni pain. And also the G-spot wands, the crystal wands, the tachynice wands is going to be greatly, greatly helpful for this as well. Zina says, dear Ronja, a lot of gratitude for your sharings. So nice to see you be so passionate and definitely useful, nurturing being together on the topic of being a woman. My internet soon runs out, so I'll jump out at a certain moment. Big hug. Yeah, so you can just watch the rest in the replay. So I think we're coming up to the end of this. Lastly, I want to say, in terms of Yoni love, some women love their yonis. Some women have judgments about how they look, that they don't fit the image of what the porn industry tells us that a vagina should be looking like. What I want to say to that, and again, this is something you can look in deeper. In the Kudushka tradition, which is the shamanic sexual wisdom tradition, it's related to Tantra, but it's a different tradition. They have literally mapped out different kinds of vaginas, different kinds of yonis. And so there's like a whole map medicine wheel of different kinds of yonis that are called like the deer woman, the dancing woman, the buffalo woman, the wolf, the fox, the sheep, the different maps of how yonis look like, both from the outside as well as how deep you are, how easily you get lubricated, how easily you get wet, all sorts of things. Basically, there's like an entire map, and there's another map for male genitals as well, which is like a map of different kinds of yonis. And what I have found through studying the medicine wheel and the different kinds of yonis in this is that the porn industry and the magazines are based on only one type of pussy, which is the deer woman. And again, you can look into this, and I'll put in the notes, I'll put in the title of a book that is really beautiful and really amazing that goes through these different kinds of vaginas. But basically, the porn industry is almost only depicting what is called the deer woman kind of vagina, which is a kind of vagina that looks really neat and petite on the outside, like there's not much hanging and dangling or extra bits or long labia, but it's very kind of like petite on the outside and very deep on the inside. So it can take a big eye as well. But then there are other yonis that are have more like almost like curtains hanging down, longer inner lips, bigger outer lips, one lip bigger than the other on one side, longer clitoris hood almost retracted. Like there's so many different kinds of vaginas. I have given sessions to hundreds of women, and there are so many different kinds. And you are all beautiful in your own way. So plastic surgery for vaginas is like on the rise with insane rates, especially in the United States, because women look at porn or magazines and they're like, oh, I don't look like them. There must be something wrong with me. Let me get under the knife and cut away bits from my most sacred, intimate parts so that I can look like the porn women. And so what I want to say about this, again, you can look into the book, which I'll send you a link to as well. But what I want to say about this is that women are so unique, and you're all beautiful. We're all beautiful in our own way. And different cultures have different standards. In different cultures in Africa, especially in Uganda, the general feeling and opinion there is that the longer your yoni lips, the longer especially your inner labia are, the more beautiful, and the more beautiful you are, and the better it is. So they have the opposite. Like in the States, they're cutting their inner labia away if they're too long. And in Uganda, they're pulling them out if they're too small. So it's like culture has such a big impact on this as well. And so do what you need to do to come into this space of just love and beauty and acceptance for yourself. Now, the more you love your yoni, the more you treat her with love and kindness and health, the more she will naturally radiate that vibrancy. And also just in whatever way she looks, however your clitoris looks, however your pussy lips look, it is all beautiful in your own unique way. Like your flower, your unique, beautiful, intimate, sacred temple there is so, so, so beautiful. I think that's pretty much it, ladies. So some things to remember here that you can check out: the tachyonized Yoni eggs, the pleasure ones, the secret series, the Yoni steams you can create for yourself, tachyonized coconut oil, pleasure ones. If you want to check out the practices in the Sensual Yogini Academy, then at sensualyogini.com/yes, you can find either 1 month for free for the monthly option or 3 months for free for the yearly option, money back for both of them. So I can warmly recommend checking out that for the breast massage, for the Yoni yoga, for the inner ripple effect. So you can start trying that out today, and that is going to improve and increase your orgasmic nature so much. Susanne that says, thanks, Ronja and Leonie, you both look radiant today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, it's morning here in Australia. I'm gonna go out into nature after this and also put the notes together, which I'll send out to you very soon. I think that's pretty much it, love. So we are coming up to over 2 hours now, so I don't want to go for much longer. But if any one of you wants to come on to video camera and just share anything or ask anything, then we'll go for just a few more minutes with this, and then we will wrap up. So if you want to come on camera and say anything or ask anything, then you can raise your hand and you'll just have to follow the prompt saying that you're about to join a Hangout on air. You click yes, I understand and I accept, and then you give permission to use your camera. Then you can come on camera. And otherwise, if you want to share anything in the chat, how you're all doing. And I know a lot more people are going to be joining the replay for this as well. Okay, beautiful. So Julia says, thanks for all your insights, Ronja and Leonie. It helps me build my investment model. Beautiful. I'll be raising capital soon so that I can give you both capital and a better business strategy. Wow. Okay. That sounds like high-level stuff that I'm not really into, but we can talk. Thank you. Beautiful. Zena says, love. And anything else you want to share again if you want to come up on video. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up. And actually, ladies, because we had almost 300 women registered for this webinar, and it's not that many who are actually on live. And I just see that it's because I did not set up any reminders or notifications about this webinar, which means that it's basically just going to be you ladies who are like super organized and on it that are seeing this. So I'm expecting that a lot of women are going to be watching the replay. So just for that, saying any women who are watching the replay for this, just thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I love and appreciate you so, so, so much. And for all of you, those of you who are here live, as well as those of you who are watching the replay, please share this with all your women friends. Because all of this with the cancer prevention, with the hormonal imbalance, with the natural antidepressants, with the alkaline and the inflammatory diet, like there's so, 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 so much. The birth control, the condoms, the vibrators, everything. Like this is stuff that every single woman should know about. And so, so, so few do. So please share this far and wide with all your women. And on behalf of them, thank you, thank you, thank you. So Myrte, and again, if I'm pronouncing your name in the wrong way, forgive me, says, thanks a lot, beautiful Ronja, beautiful what you shared. I'm really curious about the natural birth control. I notice I'm worrying so much and really thinking of going on the hormonal coil again. Don't know what to do with my worries. So I shared in depth about birth control in the beginning of this. Personally, all I use is knowing my cycle, ejaculation retention, and sometimes I eat a lot of papaya, so I just generally eat a lot of papaya seeds to also just boost that natural contraception. But basically, if you want to know more about that, then go back to the beginning of this webinar where I share more in depth about ejaculation retention and pre-cum and semen and knowing your cycle and other methods for this. And I also personally, like, I have a really clear agreement with Spirit, like I'm not available for kids right now. And so if that resonates for you, then that's something you can do as well. Our bodies do respond to intention. So that is another aspect of that. Okay, my beautiful women, it's time to wrap up. Thank you so much. Share this with everyone. Check out the links. You can check out already. Let me just pop that here into the chat if you want to check it out right now, because it's going to be like a little while before I'm actually able to probably get the PDF out to you, hopefully later today. That's the link again to the Tachyon products, and you can use the code LOVEYOGA for extra discount on that. Hopefully that should work. And also go into sensualyogini.com/yes for, just open that, sensualyogini.com/yes for the 1 or possibly 3 months of the academy, where you can try the Yoni yoga and the breath massage and the inner alchemy meditation and the liquid love woman heart breath meditation. And everything else I will put also inside the notes for you. So with that, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day. Feel free to tune in right after this webinar. Not so much what should I be doing, but what would feel nourishing for me right now. Really prioritizing your life energy, your nourishment, and your pleasure, because from that space you have so much more to give. And always remember, in life, this is eternally true, that the more we follow our resonance, the more we follow our inspiration and our guidance, the better it gets, the better it gets. The more we follow our bliss, the more bliss there is to follow. And we are essentially limitless beings. We can never die. We are eternally connected to all of life and to the source and intelligence of all that exists. I love you and I appreciate you and I adore you. Thank you so much. Wish you a beautiful day.